This is Tom Doody, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Doody in a Google search from my site, from the BBC, obituary, Zsa Zsa Gabor. Zsa Zsa Gabor's greatest role was that of playing herself, although she appeared in more than 70 films. It was her many marriages and celebrity lifestyle that defined her. As she shimmered her way through Hollywood society, she maintained an air of Hungarian aristocrat. She spoke 7 languages, yet despite living in California for half a century, never lost her distinctive accent. She was born Zsa Zsa Gabor in Budapest on 6 February 1917. She was immediately nicknamed Zsa Zsa by her family, the second daughter of a soldier and his wealthy jewelry heiress wife. She initially wanted to be a veterinarian surgeon, but her forceful mother and her own beauty propelled her in a different direction. Her mother was Jewish, although the 3 daughters were practicing Roman Catholics. A sensible decision in a country whose autocratic leader, Miklos Horthy, had enthusiastically allied himself to Adolf Hitler's Germany. Zsa Zsa Gabor marries. Her marriage to George Sanders was her third. On a trip to Vienna in 1934, Gabor was spotted by the noted Austrian singer Richard Tauber and given a part in an operetta, her first stage performance. Her striking looks saw her being crowned Miss Hungary in 1936, but she was disqualified for lying about her age in order to enter. In 1937, she married a Turkish intellectual, Burhan Asaf Balge. Although the union, the first of 9 marriages, ended in 1941. Her parents had divorced, so she and her mother immigrated to the United States to join her sister Eva. There were her European good looks saw her first picking up several theater roles. Her cinema debut came in 1952 in the MGM musical Lovely to Look At. Although her supporting role gave her no English lines at all, by this time she was already on her 3rd marriage to actor George Sanders, having divorced husband number 2, the hotel magnate Conrad Hilton. Later that year, that she got a big break starring John Huston's Moulin Rouge. The director later described her as a credible actress. Zsa Zsa Gabor, she brought a touch of glamour to BBC TV in 1952. She appeared in 14 more films during the 50s, few of them memorable. One that constantly came back to haunt her was Queen of Outer Space, in which she played a scantily clad inhabitant of the planet Venus. She later described it as an awful film. It just kept turning up. But her most endured role was that of professional Hollywood celebrity. Gabor family member and wife of many men. You don't have to marry every man you sleep with, her mother once told her, but Gabor said it was because she never stopped being Catholic at heart. She became known as something of a scandal monger and man-eater who gorged her way through many relationships. Having divorced George Sanders in 1954, she spent her time away from the film set by building up her reputation as one of Hollywood's best-known celebrities. Moulin Rouge was her cinematic breakthrough. It was not until 1962 that she married again, this time to Herbert Hutner, an investment banker 9 years her senior. The union lasted 4 years. Her 1966 marriage to husband number 5, Joshua S. Costen Jr., ended 7 months, and it would be 9 years before she took the plunge again with the designer of the Barbie doll, Jack Ryan. When this relationship collapsed after 18 months, she immediately married Michael O'Hara. This time she managed to keep it going for 7 years. She was linked to a number of other men, including Sean Connery, Frank Sinatra, Richard Burton. Her 8th marriage to Mexican lawyer Felipe de Alba, which took place at sea, was later annulled because Gabor said the boat had not been far enough away from shore to make it legal. This was fortunate as she was still technically married to husband 7 at the time. Her most stormy relationship was with South American playboy Porfirito Rubirosa. When he chose an heiress over Gabor, she appeared on stage, Las Vegas, proudly sporting a patch over the black eye she had apparently suffered at Rubirosa's hands. She was an expert at self-parody and self-promotion, attributes she played in good effect when in 1989 she had an argument with Los Angeles policemen, which ended with Gabor being convicted of assault. She was sentenced to 3 days imprisonment, albeit in a very comfortable penthouse room. The actress later poked fun at the incidents as references were very often made about it in films and appearances in such as Naked Gun, The Smell of Fear, and The Beverly Hillbillies. Towards the end of her life, courtrooms became a frequent haunt. In 2005, she settled a $2 million legal action against the driver of a car involved in a crash that left her in a wheelchair. And 3 months after that, together with her last husband, Frederick von Anhalt, she sued her only daughter, Francesca Hilton, amid claims Hilton, had defrauded her mother by buying $2 million to buy a new house. However, she was now in her 80s and her health was beginning to suffer. She was admitted to hospital a number of times, developing swelling in her legs and blood clots throughout her body, for which she underwent surgery. Eventually, her right leg had to be amputated. Her 9th and last marriage was most enduring, despite her reputation for a vulgar love of jewels and men. Almost all Gabor's former spouses remained devoted to her. In her memoirs, George Sanders said his former wife was misunderstood because she was guileless, described her character as pure. He added, "She doesn't disguise her love of amorous entanglements or jewels or whatever fancy catches her eye." Gabor herself once said, "American women are gold diggers. They taught only how to get money out of a man. European want to find a man they can love, cook for, and be good to, and be a good wife." But in one of her many reflections on love, marriage, and divorce, this well-qualified practitioner declared, "I never hated a man enough to give the diamonds back." This has been Tom Doody, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Doody in a Google search for my site. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, good evening, or restful night's sleep. And ciao, Zsa Zsa Gabor.